Let's get up to speed on the Commanders coordinators situation. Shout out to Hogs Haven. They're doing a hell of a job of kind of tracking every little update, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, the news came that the Dolphins fired Mike McDaniel, right? And whatever gets said down there, the only reason they fired Mike McDaniel is because John Harbaugh became available. Looking at only offshore books give these kind of odds, although I don't know what's happening in the online betting space because, like, these predictive markets like Polymarket and the other one's called, like, Kaishi or something are now becoming legal, and like FanDuel might be merging with them. So who knows what the hell?
It's a lot of stuff going on, bro. And they bet on everything.
There's money.
Listen, bro. Hey, we have a bet that JP won't be on time tomorrow.
I mean, for me, you probably get a little bit of plus money, like plus 125. White Brian to not be on time is minus 180. But BetOnline.ag, so I guess that's like Antigua or something, has odds on John Harbaugh's next job. Dolphins are minus 175. Giants are plus 175. I don't know if you noticed this last night. They had Jackson Dart was on the sideline for Ole Miss. You know how these internet streets are.
Did he get a concussion?
I don't believe so. He was wearing some big ass glasses though. Maybe that's stylistic. Dart, you could clearly see the cameras caught him saying, "Yeah, the next coach is either going to be Harbaugh or Stefanski," which I believe for the Giants. BetOnline has Harbaugh taking over the Dolphins' job at minus 175, taking over the Giants' job at plus 175. Which of those two jobs do you think is better?
Miami.
Why? I don't think you have a quarterback.
I just think the thing about Miami, he has a relationship with that owner already. He won't have all of the stress of the New York media, because John Harbaugh going there, normally you have to compete against the coach who just left. John Harbaugh's going there, they're going to expect a lot. You know what I mean? They're going to expect a lot. And they have way more scrutiny than Miami does. And I believe he can go into Miami and make a change, make it quicker. They got talent down there. They got some talent on that offense.
The Dolphins, this happened in the last 15, 20 minutes, breaking news here. The Dolphins have hired Packers Vice President of Player Personnel, John Eric Sullivan, as their new general manager. I have no idea John Eric Sullivan's background. I don't know what that would mean for a John Harbaugh hire. I think if you're John Harbaugh and you kind of get to call your shot here, you kind of get the pick. Like, you can have the GM, and that's cool, but, like, I'm kind of in charge here, dude. This new John Eric Sullivan is now GM of the Niners. Guess where he's from, B?
Where?
It appears Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh.
He went to Catholic high school in Baton Rouge.
Catholic High. Warwick Dunn.
That's crazy you said that. Apparently, I guess this dude was a receiver and Warwick Dunn was the quarterback.
Yep.
Now, my only curiosity here is are there any ties to Baltimore? And it doesn't look like it. It looks like this dude has been with the Packers forever. Training camp intern in 2003. He then just became what looks like a QC, football operations department employee was his title from 2004 to 2005. Takes the Dolphins job. Do you also?
I think so. I think when you start looking at that with the relationship with the owner of the team and that family and the Harbaugh family, I think that will be something that probably will happen.
So where does that leave Washington? I think, hell, we opened the phone lines yesterday. I've never heard such uniformity amongst this fan base. Everybody wants McDaniel. What we have learned, and this was reported last night, I believe Schefter reported that they completed an interview with Dallas Cowboys tight end coach Lunda Wells. I hope I'm saying that right. Lunda.
Lunda, yeah. L. Wells.
Wells. Tight ends coach Wells. Dan Quinn and Wells obviously coached together in Dallas for 3 seasons. There is apparently Wells is well thought of and is a guy that, Washington wanted to at least have a conversation with about the offensive coordinator job. Now, one thing that sucks, and I don't know the answer here, right, is so Washington interviews Lunda Wells last night. Schefter reported the interview was done and happened. Lunda Wells is a African-American man. Now, he's a tight ends coach, and it's a dude that not a lot of people have heard of. So there's just immediate, oh, man, that's just Rooney rule. What if it's not? What if, we're talking about David Blau as a possibility. What if Dan Quinn knows this dude Wells and is I at least want to talk to him?
Yeah. I see where he's at now. Maybe they thought he was a guy, just like we look at Blau and think, well, this could be one of the next guys. They could have thought that about him. You never know.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, to me, interviewing a young position coach that is not top of mind, that is not a household name among hardcore NFL fans, I think that's actually the intention of the rule, is to get new names elevated.
In the circulation.
And then he goes through that experience of okay, this is what it's like. I got to have my plan together. I got to tell him how I would run things. Whether Wells gets the job or not, I think that's actually that rule being implemented in the correct mold of what it was of what it's intended to be. I don't know if you agree, but the idea is it's not just white dudes that get interviews. It's everybody, because football includes everybody. So whatever happened there, I'm not going to pretend to know a ton about Lunda Wells. I mean, I could reach out to some folks in Dallas to try to get a better idea. But I don't hate what happened there. I think that's actually the intentionality of what the Rooney Rule is supposed to present, if it even is that. And I think perhaps it's a little unfair to just make that automatic assumption that that's what it was. And guess where Lunda Wells is from, Brian?
Where?
Baton Rouge.
Damn, Baton Rouge on fire today.
He played at Southern. Didn't Monica go to Southern? Yeah. He was a guard at Southern. If you listen to tight ends will tell you it's the hardest position in football, because there's no other job where you're asked to both block consistently, run routes, be a part of the offense. You have to do more things, right? Now, my guess is most football players will tell you their position's the hardest in football, but tight ends at least have an argument. And I think you see a lot of guys come up the tight end coach path that turn into something. Dan Campbell was a tight ends coach. Sean McVay was a tight ends coach. It's an interesting spot because you have to blend the run game and the pass game more so than probably any other position to be a position coach. I don't know that Lunda Wells is really going to get that job, but it's at least interesting. They're at least starting the process.
Yep.
The other thing that's interesting, and this wasn't specific to Washington, but Jeff Ulbrich has been a name tossed around with the Commanders' defensive coordinator position. Ulbrich and Dan Quinn go way back. Ulbrich, I think, did a good job with Atlanta this year as the defensive coordinator there. They did a really good job of rushing the passer. I would add that they also added a bunch of talent. They drafted 2 pass rushers in the first round. No. Now, a team does not have to let a guy go interview if it's a lateral move.
Yeah.
Now, could they inflate it and give him an assistant head coach title or something?
Yeah, if they give him that, then he can roll.
Atlanta claims, so Ulbricht's under contract, and they're not letting him interview until they at least know what they're doing at head coach. Because what if their head coach wants to keep Ulbrich as the DC?
Or what if Ulbrich is their head coach?
Interesting times. So the assumption that the assumption on the defensive side of the ball is Ulbrich and Raheem Morris are kind of the leaders in the clubhouse.